Hi, everybody. Learn English with Football is back with me, Teacher Zdenek. And as always, I've got three fantastic guests. And first time this season, it's Marvin. Hi, Marv. Oh, you're muted, mate. You're muted.
Sorry, my friend. How's it going, brother?
All good, all good. Obviously, you have been on the show before, but that was last season. Then we have got debut. That's Cathal. Hi, Cathal.
Hello, hello. How are you getting on?
Good to see you online as well.
Yes,
We worked together this summer in July, didn't we?
we did. Well, we got through the work at least.
Yes. And last but not least, we have Jack, who is coming back. He was one of the faces of the first round of this season. Jack, welcome back.
Good to be back.
Fantastic. Obviously, not to confuse you with the other Jack, the Tottenham fan. We now have two regulars whose name is Jack.
Oh.
So this is Jack, Brighton fan. And,
I feel like I'll get along much more with this Jack than the other Jack, I feel.
We have fun playing Arsenal.
Absolutely. Hang on. Now we have too many Marvs here. I need to kick the other Marv from the studio, if that's okay. Right. So this Marv left as well. I didn't kick him, I swear. Cathal, who do you support?
I am an Arsenal supporter. I've been an Arsenal supporter for many years. I guess I was growing up and kind of forming my own opinions about football around, well, basically right when the Invincible season happened. So it was kind of like oh wow, they're a really good team. I think I like the way that they play football, so I kind of supported them. Kind of fell out of it a little bit for a couple of years, but just kind of over the last couple of years, kind of gotten back to it and really enjoying watching the progression of the club over the last couple of years for sure.
Fantastic. I have a cheat sheet. Your name is spelled Cathal, but your name is pronounced Cathal.
Yes.
That's because you're Irish, and
Mm-hmm.
Irish people have really difficult names sometimes.
Yeah, I maybe I might get that off you after this, so I can carry that around with me whenever I go abroad.
I'll send it by post, no problem.
You're an Irish fan and you support Arsenal.
I am indeed, yeah.
What about Damien Duff, man? Come on.
Look, right. Duffers was okay, but he never made it. He never made it to, in my estimation, he was always a bit of a flopper for me.
Come on, he won the Premier League twice.
He did. But Robbie Keane was also like
Good
a
player.
very famous player, Roy Keane, those guys.
Yeah.
Niall Quinn would have been
Great player.
the Arsenal guy.
Great player.
For sure. I liked him.
Fantastic. So, Cathal, this is your Instagram account. You are an English teacher.
I am indeed, yeah.
So we have 4 English teachers on the show today, which is cool. Because we have Jack here as well. This is Jack's website and your Instagram as well, Jack.
Yeah. That's me. Learn English with JT. I've got a conversation club that I'm starting in a week's time. So if anyone's interested in talking about engaging controversial topics once a week with a group of other lovely people, then that's the conversation club. Have a look at the website.
Lovely.
And obviously follow me on Instagram.
Oh, absolutely. You can follow all of us here, guys. If you're watching, there are 4 English teachers here. Why not follow all of us at the same time? And this is Marvin. Obviously, Marvin, a Chelsea fan. This is your YouTube channel, Genius Language School. And next to it, you have got your Instagram account as well.
Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, English teacher like all of you guys, fighting the good fight.
This is where we all come together. We throw away our differences as football fans and we stick together as English teachers. I hope so. But when it comes to football,
It all goes out the window again. It just
sworn enemies. Sworn enemies.
The war is on.
Except me and Cathal, because we both support the same club. Although, when things are not going well, you know what can happen.
Well, I hope not.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed now, Zenek. We don't want to say anything to put any bad juju out there.
We were there last year.
Mhm,
Half
indeed.
of the fan base are not Wenger. Arteta out. Half of the fan base want to trust the project, process.
The
Process. I mean,
process.
yeah.
But have
So-
you guys watched any of that All or Nothing series?
Oh yeah, the whole lot of it.
It is brilliant.
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm
It's-
about to watch it. Yeah.
It's brilliant. It definitely paints Arteta in a very good light regarding his stories. I loved his team talks and the stories that he does. He's always got like one night and he has all these really cool ideas he links to the games. I don't know if all the top coaches do that, but I think it's a pretty forward thinking idea.
Mm-hmm.
I think they
If
should do it.
he fails as a coach, then he's definitely got some sort of
He
some
cannot
career
fail.
as an artist, because he's got
Sure.
great drawings going on those.
But he
walls.
cannot fail. He cannot fail. He already won one FA Cup. So
This
he's
is
done
it.
fairly well.
Yeah, there are teams that haven't won anything, and I
Yeah.
don't mean Jack's team now because
Hey,
know,
we
as
won League One.
yeah. But you know what I mean. I don't mean to take the Mickey because your team is doing really well right now anyway. So, so
Yeah,
obviously
yeah,
I mean a team like Tottenham or something like that.
Yeah, small club.
Exactly. Okay then, guys. So this is us. Obviously, whoever is watching this live, this show is broadcast live. So if there are any people watching us, feel free to leave comments in the super chat, or you can even answer some of the questions that I will be asking our guests here. Feel free to get involved. Even if you watch this later on, please leave a comment. Give us a like. This does help the YouTube channel, obviously. So, guys, let's start with the first segment, and that's a very simple one. That's where I'm only going to ask you about the matches you watched this weekend. All right. So let's start with Jack.
I watched. Wait, what was the? Oh, Arsenal, Bournemouth. Last time you asked me this question, I started speaking loads about Liverpool and Fulham, so I'm just going to tell you the games I watched.
Okay.
Arsenal, Bournemouth, Brighton, West Ham,
Yep.
and then Man City, Newcastle.
Okay. I'm gonna make it very simple. I saw exactly the same 3 games.
Okay.
I saw- So that's why I just want to get me out of the way. So that's it. Exactly the same games. Me. So how about you, Cathal?
Same for me too. I did catch the end of the Fulham game, which was really, really exciting to watch for sure. But yeah, like yourselves, the exact same ones.
Well, lucky you, because that was the Mitrovic winner, right? Yeah, we're
was
probably not gonna
indeed.
get round to it. So let's do an honorable mention here. That was a great game. Yeah. And how about you, Marvin?
Unfortunately, the Chelsea versus Leeds. I saw Brighton and West Ham, and the Man City Newcastle.
Excellent. So we definitely have some stuff to talk about. Let's get to it. And what I do here on the show is that I want to first and foremost get out of the way the matches of the supporters that we have here. So we have to talk about the Arsenal game first. Yeah, that was the first game, chronologically the first game. So, Cathal, 3-0, an away win. Happy Gunnar.
Absolutely, happy Gunnar. It is it's a good time to be an Arsenal supporter at the moment for sure. I guess just reflecting especially on the same fixture that we were at last year, it's certainly a game that a lot of Arsenal supporters would have been really kind of nervous about, I guess, in previous seasons, certainly under Arteta. But this year they looked really strong. Possession was kind of split pretty evenly, I suppose. Obviously, Arsenal had more, but good to see that they were really able to kind of kick on and show more kind of killer instinct than they had in previous years. It kind of snuck in, I guess, a little bit against Palace in the opening day, but for sure, it never looked in any sort of doubt against Bournemouth.
Yeah, they continued with that performance from the Leicester's game, in my opinion, and yeah, I was really impressed by that. Jack, you saw the game as well, so as a neutral, was it fun to watch, really? Or
yeah, they look fantastic. They've just got the signings that they've made over the summer. I'm going to kind of include Saliba as well because he was there, but he didn't really play. They just look so strong. Like Jesus is incredible. He looks so good when he's on the ball. He makes Lacazette look like crap in comparison. It's exciting to watch him play. And Zinchenko, always pressing forward, making good runs, good footwork. They're just really good to watch. And I hope that I've got a bit of a soft spot for Arsenal. I don't really know why. Maybe it's just years of it just being terrible for them.
Pain.
You've got Man United who play terribly, but you kind of feel like they deserve it. But when Arsenal play terribly, it's sad.
You will always be welcome on this show, Jack. I just want to say this. You will always be welcome here, no matter what. Yeah. After what you just said.
But it's great to see them playing really well, and it's exciting football. It's good football to watch. Scoring goals. Should have scored more. Jesus should have scored a couple. But he got his assist. And Saliba looks great as well.
Excellent. Marvin, I remember when I talked to you last year, and you said to me that we only had one world-class player.
Yep.
Remember who it was?
I stick to it.
Remember who it was?
Aubameyang,
yes.
Of course you would say that.
I said it last year, not now, but it's even more true.
I wanted to ask how you see it now. Would you now say we have some other world-class players with the new signings and all?
Very, very good question. And I think the signings you made were very good choices. But I can't tell you for 100% sure that you still have any world-class players. I would lean towards Gabriel Jesus looking like that. But we're talking about 3 games and very, very favourable opposition. I mean, and I do think you're playing well, and you absolutely killed us in pre-season. So I think you guys are much better than before. I think the players from last season that I thought were all right are now very good. For example, Saka, much better. I thought he was good anyway. Smith Rowe, very good. I like Saliba. I think he's a really good player. But I am looking in that team, and I still don't see any world class. I mean, as I said, there is an argument for Jesus because he's come from a winning team and he's smashing it with the goals. But you need more than 3 games for that. So I still stick to what I said last year, but I also do accept the fact that you are an infinitely a better team. An infinitely better team. And I would say the one thing that's improved the most is the football. I think that the style of football is great. You're always looking to play vertical passes. There's another argument for Ødegaard. I really like Ødegaard. I think he's been better every time I've seen him play. There are still maybe little things that you have in terms of problems. I don't think you have the best back 4. And I think it will be tested more when you play against better teams.
Yep.
But again, all respect needs to be delivered because you've been playing amazing. And I thought when Aubameyang left, you would not have any chance of Champions League. And you almost proved me wrong there as well. So maybe it was the right decision.
Okay, well, one more thing I need to ask you about now, and I think you know what I'm going to ask you about. You have been linked with him now. Chelsea have been linked with Aubameyang. So would you like him at Chelsea?
Well, absolutely. It might be a bit late now because he's 33, but I still think that he has it in him. He scored 11 goals in 17 for Barcelona, so he's still there or thereabouts. He, in fact, was the guy I wanted before we signed Morata and the guy I wanted before we signed Werner. And I like Werner. Don't get me wrong, I like Werner, but I would take him. I think he can score goals in our team, and I like the player a lot. So I'll be very happy. I can't see him being awful, but it will prove whether or not our system is the problem for the forwards. But again, I'm not sure that the system is the problem, because some of the strikers we've tried are just terrible footballers, like in my opinion, Higuain, Lukaku, people like that. Whereas Drogba played under like 7 different managers and never complained about how the football style was. Same with Anelka, same with Diego Costa. So I think if you're that good, you will still be that good. So yeah, I would definitely take Aubameyang. I still really like the player a lot.
I have a question for you, Marv. Sorry, Zenik, if I could. Who are you going to take out of that Chelsea front line then, if Aubameyang is going to slot in?
Take your pick. I would take out any of them at the moment. So far, I think a lot of the Chelsea fan base really overrate Mount. He's not a forward, in my opinion. He would be the first one to go for me. Havertz as well. I mean, they've both got no goals in 3 games, no assists in 3 games. Can't take out Sterling because he's a constant threat. But for me, I think Pulisic needs to go back in there. I really like Pulisic. Pulisic, Sterling, and a striker would be much better for me. But if you're looking on face value, it will obviously be Havertz that drops out.
Okay.
Makes sense. And
just
how old is
I wanted to twist this. I want to ask Carl now. Is this something you would be okay with? Is this something we as Arsenal fans we don't want to see? Because we have seen it before with Olivier Giroud.
Yeah,
we let him go to Chelsea, and he was amazing for them, and even scored a goal against us in the Europa League final. Remember that?
Yeah, I have to say, I mean, just very quickly about Mar's point about world-class players. I think that I would actually agree with you that we don't really have any world-class players there at the moment, but I would say that we do have a lot of world-class players in the making if they continue on the trajectory that they're at, because we're such a young squad that like the youngest in the league still, I think we could really, like, sky's the limit really if we can keep all these guys, but yeah, as for Aubameyang, like obviously there was a lot of ill will towards him towards his final stages at Arsenal. He showed his true colors as he has done with every club, I suppose, that he's been at, bar Barcelona. In terms of with Dortmund as well, he kind of just made it kind of clear about the whole kind of wanting to leave and just like really being a thorn in their side before being offloaded to us. And then as well with us, the same problems arise after the contract was signed. I guess he signed the big contract and then just seemed to lose all kind of go forward to play. For a player like Giroud, because he gave so much to the club and you kind of always saw he was given 100% no matter what he was asked to do, I didn't really mind when he moved on. I kind of felt it was a good time for him to move on. As for Aubameyang, yeah, he's aging. He's at 33, 34 now. So will he be able to tear it up the way he did? I don't know. I'm looking at that like Chelsea squad and like they have all the makings to be able to challenge for the title. It's just they just don't seem to be working cohesively together. Like that Leeds game, and even was it? I can't remember who they played the week before. Or the week before, sorry, they played against Tottenham. Yeah, like that Tottenham game was incredible. They just didn't seem to be able to put Tottenham away. They were never really out of sight.
Well, we would have put them away had the correct decisions been made, and we would have won 2-0.
That is very true.
Yeah, let's be honest.
But yeah, no, I think Aubameyang, I mean, he's a good striker. Whether he'll be able to do it again in the Premier League now at age 33 in a system that doesn't seem to be working fully functioning at the moment. Well,
it's a funny, interesting point you make about that, because I saw a stat yesterday, and actually in the league we were number 1 in chances created last season.
There you go.
And that's our biggest problem. I don't know if we're planning on talking about the Chelsea game, but our biggest issue is we just do not score any goals. We miss chance after chance, like in the Tottenham game. We missed 2 goals we should have scored. We lost the Carabao Cup final because we missed an open 1-on-1 and Mason Mount hit the post. We just miss chances over and over again.
Yeah.
So About Giroud, he also won the Champions League. So, I mean, he was an absolutely stellar signing for us. And I hope that Aubameyang would be the same. But I do agree about the Arsenal players having the potential to be world class. I think there's a lot of players in there that could make that explosion, actually.
Youngest squad in the league.
It's impressive.
Exactly. Who's your favorite player from Arsenal, Jack? Tell us.
My favourite player from Arsenal? Not Ben White. Probably Saka. Probably Saka.
Saka. Yeah. But let's be honest, Carl, we have seen all Arsenal games. He hasn't really started the season at his best.
That's what I like about the situation at the moment.
Yeah.
Saka was their star last season.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I just listed like 5 players that I thought looked really good. And I didn't even mention Saka.
But he opens spaces a lot, though. Even when he's not playing that well, he beats the man and he opens up space. It's something that Chelsea doesn't have.
That is true.
For sure. He attracts a lot of attention. Even if he's not like directly creating the goal, whether by assisting or scoring, because of what, like the season that he had last year about being like our most dangerous player. He demands that sort of attention from the defense.
My favourite Arsenal player is Martinelli.
Yeah.
I think he's really underrated. Really underrated player.
Good choice. Guys, give it one season, and next season Marvin will start saying that he's one of those world-class players.
Maybe.
Could happen.
All right. Guys, before we move on to the other games, we need to give a mention to the Saliba song.
the Basuma song that they stole.
The Saliba song. Saliba. I have an earworm. The Arsenal fans, of course, if you're losing like they were, the Bournemouth fans, they were quiet, right? So you could only hear the Arsenal fans throughout the entire game because we killed the game off early, right? And for 15 minutes, I swear to you, for 15 minutes, they were singing this song. Saliba. And then after singing it for like 15 minutes, he scored an absolute cracker.
Absolutely.
How good was that goal, Carl? How good was that goal?
Like, I honest to God, I think I had the same reaction that Zinchenko had when I saw it. I was just like, hands on my head, just going, what just happened? That was our centre back. Like, what?
Exactly.
Yeah, it was pretty great.
Exactly. All right. So let's move on to the what shall we talk about first? Marvin, are you there? Shall we talk about the Chelsea game first then? Chelsea Leeds game.
It's going to be a painful one.
I know. Well, kudos to you for joining us today, because it's always easier to join a show like this when your team has won. I know that because I've been doing this for a long time now. And I know it's always easier for me to get the fans of the winning teams. So respect for that, for coming. So what went wrong there in that game, in the Leeds Chelsea game?
Well, a lot of things. I mean, the first thing is failing to take chances in the first minute. Well, we had an open goal that we missed. And then following on from that, it wasn't just an open goal. It was the stupidity from the goalkeeper. Then it was terrible defending from the corner. And by 2-0, the game is already over. And it's always the same in Chelsea games. We let one goal in, that's the end of the match. And every single time now, you go a goal down, you might as well turn the TV off because we've kind of lost. And to lose, I mean, the amount of money, I mean, I say it about every team. I said it about Man United last year. The amount of money that they spend, they should be winning the league, not coming 6th or whatever. And it's the same for us. We've spent a huge amount of money this summer. Losing 3-0 to Leeds is unacceptable. And I don't care if Leeds are a decent team. They're not that good. A team that's worth like triple theirs should 90% of the time be winning. And if they're going to lose, it cannot be 3-0. No. So many problems. And another problem is stubbornness. keeping on sticking with the same front three, despite the fact they've played pretty badly in all of the 3 games we've had, and they're still playing. Whereas Pulisic is getting 5 to 10 minutes, and last season he had our highest percentile for goals and assists playing on the left side. So I think there's some selection issues that are going on. Also adaptation to the league. I mean, Koulibaly had a shocker. And just grabbing and pulling players to the floor is not going to win you any games.
Wait! Wasn't he sent off?
Yeah, and deservedly so.
Yeah.
He could have been sent off earlier on in the game for making 2 silly fouls, and the third one was ridiculous. He didn't even need to do it. We had 2-on-2. I have no idea what he was doing. And also playing the wrong players in the wrong positions. We've got two mid, one guy we don't know where he plays, Havertz, he's playing as a striker. We've got Mount playing left wing when he's a midfielder. And it might have worked for a couple of times last season, but ultimately that isn't going to work. We won the Champions League with Mount dropping deep. If you saw the Champions League final, it was a Mount ball, a Havertz run, and a Werner run. I have no idea what we're doing now. They look disorganised. The passing was terrible. Gallagher, who come from a really good loan, was absolutely shocking. Because he can't play in a team that passes the ball. The list of problems are endless. And the main one is that we just don't score any goals.
Yeah, and it will obviously all pile up. There will be confidence issues as well now. Like that draw against Tottenham, that must have taken a lot of confidence away from you.
Painful.
That was painful. That was not all your fault, obviously. I saw that game. We had even a Tottenham fan here. He wasn't denying that they were lucky to win that game, because
and
of
now we're behind on the chase. We've got to get more deals done, and even then, there's going to be more pressure to perform because of the amount of money that they're spending this season on players, which they hadn't actually done as much in recent years. We've just been replacing 1 or 2. There was a one-off season where there was COVID, but in general, when you invest that much, you need to see results.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I want to ask Jack and Carl, did you guys see at least the highlights from the Chelsea game?
Yeah.
Okay. So what did you think of that first Leeds goal, the Arison goal, the Mendy's howler? How could that
I
even
love
happen?
seeing goals like that.
What was he thinking?
He does it all the time. He's usually quite reliable. With stuff like that, he's pretty good with his feet. He's probably up there as probably one of the best keepers in the league, if not the world. So it was kind of an out of character mistake for him, but very good for Aronson. A kind of cool story for him to get that goal, and good start for Leeds for sure. Kind of helped them kick on. The teams like that, especially when you go and play against them in their own stadium. Any of the teams, I feel let's take Liverpool and City out of it. Any team from the 3rd position in the league down to 12 can beat any of those teams in that bracket now. It's incredible to watch the football. Having Leeds in their own stadium as well, playing that way and then getting the goals so that the fans are more involved. Yeah, it was always going to be tough for Chelsea to come back from that.
Yeah, it's and I know that Elland Road is a difficult place to go to, or at least it used to be, because people compared it to Anfield in terms of the atmosphere. People in the early years of the Premier League used to say it's one of the most difficult stadiums to go to. And last season, end of the season, Bamford injured, struggling to get goals, basically relying on Rafinha. And then Rafinha goes out. Jesse Marsh comes in, just manages to save them from relegation. And to see Rodrigo step up, start to get goals for them. Harrison, who I really rate as a player, just playing really well. It was a really real shame to see Bamford out injured again. I feel really, really bad for him. I remember the end of last season when he went off injured after just coming back and was really upset. So I'm not sure if it's a serious injury, but God, what his luck, unfortunate. But clean sheet, 3 goals. I bet Leeds would be absolutely chuffed.
What a start for them as well. They are one of the 7 unbeaten clubs after 3 matches. Do you guys know what the teams are? I'm sure Jack does.
Difficult club to join, that one, isn't it?
How does that sound, Jack? That you're among those clubs?
Well, beginning of last season, we actually had the chance to go top if we beat Palace, and I think that was maybe the 5th game into the season. We had the chance to go top if we'd beaten Palace, and we drew.
Yeah.
And then obviously we didn't win the league. So yeah,
Only just.
We have reached these heights early in the season. We've gone higher.
It's early days, but like as an Arsenal fan, we have to enjoy it while it lasts. So,
Yeah.
and it's nice to be thereabouts, right?
For sure. For sure.
Okay, what else can I ask you about? Well, you have mentioned Rodrigo. He scored again. He's now the top goal scorer with 4 goals. So he really hit the ground running at Leeds this season. And you know what? I'm going to ask Marvin about Thomas Tuchel, yeah? Because I don't know, like it seems weird the way he talks in the press conferences. For me, as a neutral, it feels like he doesn't want to admit his own mistakes. He keeps saying that Chelsea were the better team. Like he said it against Spurs. Yeah, he was right. But now maybe you should change the rhetoric now. Yeah, because what he said was that we scored an own goal, and then there was a set piece mistake. We always have problems with set pieces, stuff like that. But he wasn't sort of respecting the strength of Leeds, in my opinion. I don't know. Like I think they deserve to win. What do you think, Marvin?
Absolutely. I it's funny you mentioned that because I've been talking about the exact same thing the other day, actually just today, that I thought he was completely wrong when he said we were the better team for 20 minutes. I think we were the better team for 5 minutes at the beginning of the game. And as soon as the goal went in, we were second best throughout the game. And that annoys me because I hate it when people say they're the better team and they weren't. It just angers me, and in this case, it's really annoyed me. I love Tuchel, and I wanted him. I was riding the high after the Tottenham game, wishing he would crack Conte in the face. And now I'm wishing. Jack, who is it that you support?
Brighton.
Oh yeah, so I'm not against taking your coach.
I don't think many clubs would be against taking our coach.
Yeah, I mean, I love Tuchel a lot, but I think unless the results start to improve, I think there could be spell the beginning of the end because we cannot be losing 3-0 to Leeds, and no matter how good they play, you can lose. Of course, you're going to lose. You can lose a close 2-1, or they can work a little bit more than you. Okay, it can happen, but not 3-0. And you cannot be saying you're the better team when you've lost 3-0. Like, no. In what universe? It reminded me of the season when Lampard was the manager and we lost 4-0 to Man United, and he said we played well. I was like, no, you lose 4-0, you have not played well. And it's the same in this case. The excuses do seem to be coming quite a lot lately. Similar kind of excuses were made in the preseason game where we lost to Arsenal, which really angered me because that was, I mean, they're meaningless preseason cups, but you've got to try to win them. You don't walk on and get battered 4-0 and then make excuses. It happened very badly. First game we were terrible against Everton. We were really terrible. We were amazing in a Tottenham game and didn't get what we deserved. But you can't play good 1 in 3 games. You just cannot.
Well, you're lucky that you got 4 points out of it. Look, there are some teams who are, let's say, they are similar to at least the magnitude of your club, like let's say Liverpool and United, and look where they are. Yeah, obviously there is one match to play that's happening tonight and between these two teams, but whatever happens, they're gonna be below Brighton and Arsenal. So
be happy with it, whatever way the result goes.
I would take a draw actually from the match. That would be nice.
Yeah, me too, because that might keep Man United on the bottom.
No, it won't, because West Ham are there now.
They lost all the games, haven't they?
They lost all their games and no goals.
0 goals, yeah.
It is really like choosing the lesser of two evils, really, isn't it? Tonight's game.
Yeah, for sure.
It is. It is. Okay, before we move on to the Brighton game, the last thing I want to ask about is Cucurella. So we're going back one round before that hair pull. We talked about it a lot in the previous show. So I'm gonna ask Carl first. Was it a red?
Absolutely. I like Romero is one of those players that if you don't have him on your team, you hate him. But if you have him on your team, you love him. You know, he's one of those players that just he'll play right on the line. And I know a lot of pundits rate him highly. I know when I was living over in Italy, I watched a lot of Italian football. He was very solid coming up as a youngster. Obviously highly rated by the teams that he had, that he was with. So he's definitely got the makings of being a proper centre back, and for 100% a red card. Like there's no question about that. Yeah. Like there's tons of jostling that goes on in the box anyway. That's like kind of a gray area, I guess. But that was as blatant as it comes, and the referee was in a perfect position to see it too. I don't know how he didn't go there, or that VAR didn't pull it up.
No idea.
Either.
Jack, is this the reason you sold him? Did Potter not want a guy with such hair in the club, or what? Why did you sell him? Why did you sell him to Chelsea?
Hair was a perk. That's what we used to sing about it. In fact, actually, Chelsea have stolen our song for Cucurella. They've just completely taken it.
Is it the same one? The drinks paella, drinks paella.
His hair is really massive.
Wow.
They don't say really.
That's strange, because I know the same song that West Ham fans sing about Pablo Fornells.
Yeah.
We won't steal that one.
And it's the Harry Maguire song as well for England.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's just a variation of the same song.
Yeah.
Cucurella is worth 70 million, by the way, not 50.
Really? So are you happy with him, Marvin?
Extremely. He was on the list of players that I always have for every summer. He's been there for the last two. I think he's an absolutely amazing player. I'm very surprised we were able to get him.
Is he a world-class player?
Well, you can't say that really, because he's only had one season at the top league, and it's not with an elite club yet. So you can't. I mean, I use the same barometer to measure Gabriel Jesus. So it's we need obviously to see how he does with bigger pressures on him to perform. Because obviously Brighton have been doing so well that literally anything they do is good at the moment. I mean, they're winning games. They're way above the bottom half of the league, and they're playing great football. So, but yeah, I think he's definitely, for me, the way that he plays, his vertical passing, his eye for the ball, his tackling, his heading, he's fast. For me, he is the best left back in the league already. But obviously, he needs to prove that first.
How does that sound to Jack? So on the one hand, there's a lot of praise for an ex-Brighton player. Obviously, you sort of up there. But on the other hand, you don't have this player now. So
it's the nature of being a club like Brighton. I mean, I really hope that we continue to have such an incredible transfer policy, because we're just regularly bringing in players, and even players coming through our academy. We've pumped a lot of money into our academy as well, so it's obviously paying off. But 105 million we've made over the last year of transfer windows, and our squad is worth.
When you say we made this money, it's not you personally that made that money, right?
Yeah, me and Tony Bloom. Yeah, our squad at the moment is worth 97.5 million.
Wow.
Made that
so you lost him, Cucurella,
and Estupiñán came straight in.
Good player.
Set up a goal.
Good player.
You lost Bissouma as well, right?
Estupiñán was the guy who set up the goal in the Super Cup final against Chelsea as well.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and also you don't have Bissouma, so he went to Spurs, right?
Who's Bissouma?
Who is that guy?
The replacement Caicedo is actually really good.
Caicedo is so good, and do you know what's even better? Basuma came in. They realised that Basuma was quality, or they didn't realise it was proven that he was quality, and they got in Caicedo, put him out on loan. They knew exactly who was coming in to replace him before we'd even sold him.
Wow.
That is the sign of a well-run club.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's not just Graham Potter. It's the management. Paul
It's the
Barber,
management.
director of football.
What's the word? Foresight? For the foresight?
Foresight.
Yeah, for sure. They they're for sure. I think for me anyway, they've been the most enjoyable team outside of, obviously I enjoy watching Arsenal play for sure. But if I was to choose a team outside of Arsenal, Brighton have been my favorite team to watch.
They also
in the first 3 games, they've just played such direct counter-attacking football. It's incredible.
It's not the only good business they've done. They've also sold who I thought was actually holding them back. When I watched their games last year, I felt that Mopay missed a lot of chances that you created, and they've sold him. And I think
have we sold him?
I heard he was going, I guess.
Yeah, Potter's. He's going. I'm not sure if he's quite sold yet, but yeah, it's. I think Mopay was a weird one. Is a weird one in the fact that he had lots of opportunities put onto a plate for him, and he missed them. But then he also had opportunities that were, probably didn't even clock on XG because they were so difficult, and he scores them. Like the equaliser, the same fixture last season against West Ham, last minute overhead kick. Yeah, it's like easy ones.
You did that against us as well a few seasons back with some guy, Yahambach or something like that.
That overhead kick was incredible.
Only happens against Chelsea.
Yeah, and he scored like 2 goals in that season. One of them was that.
So guys, we are already talking about Brighton, obviously. So let's talk about Brighton's game against West Ham United. As you know, guys, I have a soft spot for West Ham, so it was really painful for me to watch. As much as I have a lot of respect for Brighton and how you guys play, and the fact that you beat Manchester United as well, I was cheering for West Ham, but no way. They had absolutely no chance in that game. The better team won, a well-deserved victory. And I just want to say this, Jack, yeah? So you have 7 points out of 9 possible. But look at the teams you played. Manchester United, Newcastle, and West Ham. Those are really decent teams, and you got 7 points out of that. So what a great start for you.
Man United and West Ham away from home as well. But
exactly.
That is actually a bit of a problem because last season we had fantastic away from. I heard a statistic. I can't remember
top 4,
but the last 10 games or the last 12 Premier League games, only Liverpool, Man United, and Chelsea have had a better away record.
Yeah.
As a season ticket holder, I want to see us win at home. It's ridiculous. It's so annoying. You have these games we play really, really well, and then we play at home. Like we should have beaten Newcastle last weekend. But yeah, this weekend, great game. We did actually only have 2 shots on goal, 2 goals, 3 shots on target, and we didn't have that many clear-cut opportunities. But the problem last season was not putting them away.
And neither did West Ham, and it seemed to me that you were controlling the game. Because you scored, when did you score? It was relatively early in the first half. Was it like 30th minute or something like that?
Got the penalty in like the 30th minute, and then
that was a clear-cut penalty. That was a stonewall penalty as well.
We miss penalties all the time. If you have a look at our penalty record, it is atrocious. But just the fact that we've been through so many penalty takers, McAllister, Gross, Mopay, Welbeck. But yeah, McAllister stood in front of the penalty spot and put it away, fortunately. Yeah. And then I told you Trossard is good.
Good player.
Trossard is a good player.
Very good player.
Just found out the other day that he's only got a year left on his contract. Actually. So I'm really hoping he signs an extension because he'll be looking. I reckon he'll be looking to go somewhere else. But yeah,
he'll be snapped up if he is.
Yeah.
He'll be absolutely snapped up if he is looking.
Yeah. He makes it into the Belgian starting lineup occasionally. So he's obviously good quality player, world class, right, Marv?
Yeah, I like Leandro Trossard. I think it's actually good to have players who are just under that on the peripheral that no one notices, because then you don't get teams like Liverpool, Chelsea, United are all stealing them from you. So hopefully he stays at Brighton, because I think he's a very good player. Him and Pascal Gross are very underrated players, I think.
Yeah. Gross on his good days. But yes, we 3 points. Move on. So Sanchez also had an incredible game.
Great keeper.
Wasn't required that much, but there were he had 2 great saves almost in a row. We would have been 3-2 down if all 3 of those great saves had gone in.
Souček's headers, What can I say about West Ham? 0 points, 0 goals. The fan base are going crazy right now. They are going up. Some of them are going absolutely mental. Some of them are losing it because the expectations are now so high after reaching those 2 European spots in a row. Can you imagine, from a team that was struggling, that was in the relegation scrap the season before that? Now the expectation, the fans, some of them are moist out after 3 matches. One of the matches was City. Then Brighton, always hard to play Brighton, always hard. And then, Nottingham Forest away. That was a match where I thought that was the best West Ham United's match. And they were the better team in that game. But they just didn't score clear-cut chances. So if you don't score, and then obviously the fans were behind the Forest. How many years has it been since they were 23 years or something like that? 23 years, So obviously their first home game, it was never easy. So I think it's a bit harsh on West Ham. Yes, they are not doing really well. It's been like 10. Has it been like 10 matches that they haven't? Only 1 game out of 10 matches or something like that they won. They have a bad record.
I watched the highlights of their Europa Conference League game against some Danish team, and so Cornet and Samaka and someone else, but mainly Cornet and Samaka, who didn't start against us, were quality. Cornet looked so dangerous, coming in, whipping the ball in, and Samaka scored a great goal, scored a header, and then he was playing with confidence and looked really dangerous. Maybe it's time to give them a little bit more time on the pitch instead of Antonio and although Ben Rama looked all right. Yeah, maybe it's just time to switch it up a bit. They've got depth in the squad as well.
They brought it in. Like you talk about, like Marv was talking earlier about how Chelsea have spent so much money. Like West Ham have spent a lot of money this transfer window too. And I suppose to have nothing from those 3 fixtures is kind of it's very bad. It's very bad look on Moyes at the moment. But I think that the people behind the scenes there have probably would give him the benefit of the doubt and just let him kind of get everybody's head straight and let him figure out how to incorporate those new players in. Because like as you said, Jack, like Cornet, every time he comes on, he just looks like an absolute live wire. He looks like the kind of the danger that San Maximan was against City. He looks like
no one is as good as Saint Max.
That's true. But he looks very good. He looks super very, very like a kind of like electrifying kind of speed that he just runs at guys,
I said Cucurella was on my list. Saint Max is always top of my list every summer.
I think he'll be sticking at Newcastle.
So do I.
All right, I'm going to ask Marvin something. So Declan Rice said in a post-match interview, obviously the new West Ham captain, that the booing was tough to hear, but then he said, "But we are not Manchester City." And I want to ask you, Marvin, like, is this the right mindset to have? Like, is this why should you even say that? Don't you want to have the highest standards? Don't you want to, especially if you are the club captain?
Exactly. I mean, considering that Aspilicueta gets it for just copy paste. We'll work harder next game kind of posts. Saying that you're not another team is literally. It doesn't matter who you play for.
Yeah.
That is not the thing you can be saying as a captain of a team. You need to be aiming high. I found that crazy because I'm a big fan of Declan Rice. I think he's a really, really good player. I think he's a great ball winner. He's elite carrying the ball. He could be better in some areas, but I think he's a very good footballer. And doing that was just stupidity.
But you know what? You know what I
Yeah.
think it could be David. Could be coming from David Moyes, because he strikes me as a pragmatic manager who is very humble, and I think he is the kind of guy that always has a respect for others, which is great. I think it's a great quality to have. But in football, in such a competitive sport, there are times when you have to do exactly what Newcastle did.
Well,
And we're gonna get to that game now. So
well,
Newcastle.
Moyes, can I add one more thing? That actually, when Moyes was Man United manager, he did the exact same thing. He said that I think it was City that were top at the time, and he said that's the level we aspire to be. Yeah. And that you can't say that about your rivals, that you aspire to be as good as aspire to be your rivals. I mean, it's very similar to the interview from Rice. I think as a captain, you've got to watch everything that you say, and it can never be belittling your own team.
No, because
you just can't do it.
The result will be that they will be devoid of confidence themselves, right? And
Exactly.
it shows on the pitch. They're just flat. They're just their performance was just lackluster. Like there's nothing there. They're just hoofing the ball. Like there's no cohesion, no dynamism. Or what's the word? Dynamism. Dynamism. No creativity. It's just bad. And even players like Jareth Bowen and Declan Rice, who were amazing last season, they're just not there this season. So I'm quite disappointed with West Ham, and I hope something changes. And I hope David Moyes stays and he just realizes the mistakes he has made and he is less stubborn.
Who do they play next?
That's the problem. They play Aston Villa away, which is one of the games they can. Okay,
Easy.
let's say they can win this one.
Yeah.
But then they are facing Tottenham, Chelsea.
2 wins.
Difficult games. My point is they are difficult games. Yeah. So
we are the charity team. We reignited Arsenal's run last season. You hadn't scored in like 5 games. You come to us and won like 4-1 or whatever it was. I don't remember. We always give charity. We helped Everton stay in the league.
Helped Leicester win the league. You know, you guys are just the best. You're just give. You know,
helping Leicester win the league was a service to the world of football.
Who didn't love that?
Yeah.
Okay, that Jack. You know what? I've heard some West Ham fans saying what Moyes out, and can you guess who they were naming as his replacement?
Allardyce.
Probably the same person that any club that is without a manager names as their replacement at the moment.
It's Potter or Pochettino. It's Po. Anyone whose name starts with P-O, basically.
I think they need to tamper their expectations, because I think that, like, for example, Graham Potter, when he does decide, if he does, he might stay with Brighton. He can probably get a bigger job than West Ham.
Yeah, 100%.
Could
That's
do.
true.
Yeah.
It just needs to be given the chance.
Yeah, I agree.
He's not going to hop from Brighton to West Ham, for sure.
Yeah, that wouldn't be much of an upgrade.
No.
Unfortunately, not as it stands. All right, guys, it's time for the hero of the week. Let's deal with this quickly. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Go
Mine would be Sanchez for me. Last season he got a bit of flack every so often, and then this season, to see him make those great saves, keeps in the game. It's good performance from him.
What about you, Marvin?
I don't like him at all, but I would have to say Jesse Marsh.
Okay. The Leeds manager.
Yeah. Because he said about the principles that they're following, and the fact that he's kind of drilled a team that last season were, pretty much destined for the drop to just completely dominate a top 4 team that easily, I think is very impressive.
Exactly, Marvin. And on top of that, it wasn't easy for him because he was replacing a manager that Leeds fans love so much, Marcelo Bielsa. He's a legend at Leeds. Imagine being the next manager after. It's the same at United. How difficult was it for Moyes to be the next one after Sir Alex Ferguson? So kudos to Jesse Marsh. Marsh,
yeah.
not Marsh.
Yeah, it is CH. It's like CHS or SCH.
right?
SCH. Yeah.
Big Ted Lasso almost kind of character.
yeah. When they, I can't remember which goal it was, but it was on the sideline. He's going like. I'd love to see it.
And we have talked about this with Pan, who happens to be a Leeds fan, is a regular on this show. Check out a video on YouTube of him when he was a manager at, was it Leipzig?
Yeah, I think Leipzig was his club before Leeds.
Check out his team talk in the dressing room. It's pretty cool. It's like half English, half German, and it's really funny. Find it. Okay, Carl, who's your hero of the week?
Big Willie Saliba would be my my hero of the week. I think that just him getting that goal and just kind of, I feel like that's really helped him settle a lot into that squad. He showed like a lot of mettle and like maturity beyond these years. He's only 21, which is crazy to say. So I think he's a big hero for me. He's obviously scored a ridiculously good goal, which really kind of just hit the nail in the coffin for us.
Absolutely. And he also bounced back nicely after scoring that own goal, which was also a ridiculous goal. But he has got 2 goals under his belt now.
He was on my bench on Fantasy League. He's on my bench and he got 14 points.
Did you bench him after he hit?
No, he was just automatically on the bench. Bloody Reece James got me 2 points.
I made a huge error. I got rid of Odegaard and brought in Martinelli. I was furious. Literally.
I missed the first week of our fantasy league, but I'm already halfway up the table.
I will talk about it.
It's not very hard to get up to it.
We will talk about it in a second. It's amazing how Marvin is doing there. So I have to say my hero of the week has to be San Maxima. It can't be anyone else because I was impressed by his performance against Manchester City. So obviously Newcastle winger Alex Saint Maxima, a French player, absolutely amazing. They couldn't handle him. I think he got 3 assists in the end.
Walker was not having a good time.
He reminded me a little bit of Antonio in his best form. Like when Antonio is like in that beast mode, no one can do anything. But San Maxima, he was a little bit of a mixture of Antonio and what's his name? The guy that was always fast, that oiled his biceps.
Adama Traore.
Adama Traore. He reminded me of Adama Traore. So good. Kyle Walker was struggling so much with him, right? They couldn't handle him. So San Maxima for me. And we didn't have time to talk about the Newcastle game, but wow, I love that. I have to say, well done. Well done, Newcastle. And also, again, City showed their quality because 3-1 down, and De Bruyne. Oh my God!
That assist through the legs.
How is this player always better when he faces adversity? Like, have you heard the stories of his personal private life and things like that? It seems like every time something bad happens to him, it makes him stronger. And he comes back stronger, and he's better and better. It's amazing. I'm lost for words. Like when I talk about this player, Kevin De Bruyne, he's gonna be the player of the season again. I'm telling you. It's just from another planet. Just the way he plays, the assists he makes, and the vision he has, and it's just different
It's
level.
funny, whenever I look at De Bruyne, sometimes I always think like, God, he doesn't look like a footballer, but he's somehow like the best like midfielder in the world.
He's an alien.
It's the vision.
Right. So let's quickly deal with the villains of the week now. Okay, who wants to go first?
I'll go first, I suppose, this time. Yeah, pretty easy one for me to name. I suppose he shouldn't get all the blame, but definitely Mendy making a huge mistake, which cost Chelsea early on. I think would make him the villain of the week for me. Just you can't faff about in the box, and as much as he tried to just squeeze it around, Aronson just couldn't do it. And it just it seemed to, like Marv said, like Chelsea were the better team for 5 minutes, and then that one mistake just kind of led to the snowball effect of it. It went downhill after that for them. So Mendy would be villain of the week for me.
Yeah, I agree with you. He's also my villain of the week, and Max from the chat agrees with you too.
I think it's unanimous.
Is it unanimous, Marvin?
Yeah.
Well, I was actually before you even mentioned the interview with Tuchel, I was thinking about my villain of the week, and mine is going to be Tuchel, because I think that goalkeepers make mistakes, shouldn't have made that mistake, but there is something not right with either the way that they're setting up or the players that are being selected to go on the pitch. 3-0 to Leeds, and then to pass the buck to someone else or to the team, or say that they were, the better team, when you lost 3-0. Like, it's just not
crazy.
Yeah.
It's not right, is it? No.
Okay,
guys.
Is that someone watching the Liverpool Man United game?
You can hear my housemate downstairs. It's a Man United supporter just screaming at the television.
Are there any goals yet?
I don't think so, judging by the tone of voice.
Okay, guys. I want to watch this game too, so let's just do a few more minutes about the FPL, and then we're gonna call it a day here. Yeah. So let's talk about the FPL quickly. All right. So do all of you play the FPL here?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Great. So this is my team. Can you believe it? I have only 28 points. Okay, Salah is still playing, but he's not my captain or anything. And
I've
Alexander
got Trent
Arnold.
Alexander-Arnold as well.
Me too.
It's an absolute shambles. I'm wild carding after this week. I've decided to wild card. I can't handle this anymore.
And
I wish I
early
had
wild card play.
James and Chilwell.
I have too many players I need to get out of my team. Like 5-6 players need to.
I wish I didn't miss the first week, or I'd be near the top.
No, that's true, because Marvin is like, he nailed it. Did you get like 100 points or something last week?
I think I got like 97. I got the highest in the league in the week previous.
You mean in our league? In
our one.
League. Okay. All right. Speaking of Teachers Denek League, these are the standings. So Robin is my private student. I'm very proud of him. Can't be proud of myself because I'm in the 16th place. So at least I have my student representing me there. But
you'll be able to get Aubameyang back.
But look at Pan. Our regular Pan is doing really well. Also, Clive is up there.
Carl, and then above me.
Gal in the mix as well.
Like I was top last week, and then just this week has absolutely destroyed me. I just Odegaard, losing out Odegaard was the worst decision ever.
Yeah, Marvin zero points as well.
And Marvin, who missed the first, who joined only in the second week, he has 1 point more than me. How embarrassing is that?
Let's do it.
Yeah. There you go. So how did you guys do? Like, you saw my fantasy team, so I don't think there's much else to say about it. So
And then I was doing terribly, and then Trossard scored, and I got Trossard. And then Trippier scored, and I got Trippier. And then Haaland scored. I was like, yes, 3 in a row. Was very, very worried when I saw that red card come out for Trippier.
Yeah, me too. I've got
Very happy
Trippier.
when it was rescinded.
I said that to my wife at the time. I was like, when I saw it said Trippier red card, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, he's on my fantasy team.
it's minus points, yeah. That happened.
Yeah.
But he scored a fantastic free kick, Trippier.
Great free kick.
Oh,
As soon as Alisson Maximin won that free kick, and I saw Trippier standing, I didn't even need to see Trippier standing over it. I knew he'd been taking it.
That's why I
It was
put him
like-
in.
It's like the World Cup semi-final all over again.
It's why I put him and James Ward-Prowse in my team.
I'm getting him as well now after my wild card. He's only 5 mil, so I'm getting him in.
ridiculous price.
You're that, mate.
That is actually that's a neighbor that's like down the
There's the hero of the week.
But also watching Manchester United.
Yeah, the neighborhood's going to be very loud, I feel, for the next hour and a bit.
Oh, that's great.
All right. So anyone else wants to talk about their fantasy team? Is there anyone in the chat that wants to tell us how they did? If not, that's where we will leave it, because we need to watch that Liverpool United game, because we can see there are some football fans in your household.
Your neighborhood is just
In your neighborhood, is that your household, your neighborhood that are going insane?
Yeah, everyone.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for featuring today. It was an absolute pleasure to talk to you, and great insight as well into your teams and the Premier League in general. Thanks very much to anyone who has been watching us live. And even if it wasn't live, thanks a lot. Don't forget to leave a comment, give us a like. It does help out the channel. The good old algorithm, it needs it. All right. So thanks, guys. And until next time.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
Yeah, guys.
Bye.
Take care, yeah?